Thursday. The Thursday night session, something that I ain't done for a long time. Normally my daughter goes guides on a Thursday, but she ain't, because she went camping with the guides earlier this week, so she ain't got guides tonight. So I was like, there's an opportunity to be had there. I was straight out the door, so I'm down on a Thursday instead of Friday. I was in here on Monday with a boy. We come out for a little session. He wanted to come out in the bivvy, so we jumped in here. There was carp in the area, but by the time he had finished chatting his mouth off, it was see you later carp. All we had was one tench, but he didn't get to see because he was asleep. But he had fun eating anyway, and that's all that matters really. He just comes to eat and chat his mouth off. A bit like his dad really, but yeah. But so yeah, you know the drill. I ain't gonna go into it. We're fishing towards the tree. It's all done and dusted. There's carp in the area tonight. I've seen one 10 yards from the tree in the pads over here, one in the middle of the pads, and there's another been jumped in the pads down here. A couple of V's across the lake and all the rest of it. So there's fish about. So I've just done the usual, free towards the tree, nice and quiet, no lines all over the swim. Just those fishing. They've been out about an hour. There's been a few indications. I mean, it could be anything, but they've been having a little party down there for about an hour. Probably little fish. But yeah, just the usual mix. What I've done tonight is the only thing different tonight is I've just made the booms ever so shorter. I'm just about to do one actually. I've just made the booms ever so short. I've got a sneaky feeling one got away with it in the other session, and that could be because the booms were a bit long. So I've just shortened the booms up on those to sort of 4 or 5 inches instead of 8, just to see if it makes any difference, that's all. So yeah, I'm just about to do one. So I was going to show you how to make a Ronnie. I mean, it must be the most common fucking video out, but it is what it is. So first of all, I start by taking a bit of boom. This one's 0.55, and I'll just take about 12, 13 inches of that off, okay? I'll take a crimp. Now, when it comes to crimps, it all depends how much time I've got, whether I'll use a crimp or a knot. Now, as I've got time tonight to make them, I'll use a crimp, right? So it's easy enough to use a crimp. You just put it in a barrel, fold it over and put it back in the other end of the barrel. That's that, job done. And obviously you get your crimp tool. And I've made these smaller of late, haven't they? I remember when these come out, they were bigger. And I reckon it's because people were breaking them. Because I reckon being longer was far too much leverage and they were snapping. Because let's be honest, they've only made a monkey metal, haven't they? So they've made them shorter so you don't snap them. Plus you don't need an awful lot to crimp them. So that's that side crimped. I shall just finish that tag end off. Just cut that a bit shorter. And then what I do is I just take my little lighter and I just blob that end ever so slightly. That'll just give that a tiny bit of security. If it slips, the blob will hit the crimp and won't come out. Little tip there, guys. So that's that end of the boom done. I'll get myself a Ronnie swivel. I'll pass it on the other end. No, I don't. I'll get myself a crimp and I'll pop it in one of the barrels. You have to excuse me, guys. Can't see what I'm doing half the time. And then I'll get my Ronnie swivel and then I'll pop that in the other end of the barrel. The other side of the barrel. The great thing about crimps is obviously you can adjust the boom really easy. You just thunder it in one end of the barrel. Decide how long you want your boom. And there you go. That's how long I want my boom. This side with a Ronnie end, well, about 15 mil, something like that. So, with the 0.55 boom, you want to use the small crimps, okay? which are 0.6 mil. And you want to use obviously the furthest, most at the front end of the crimps to crimp them. Make sure you cut the right end off, Keith. And again, what I do is I just fold that up, just leaving that little tag out. See it? It's kind of hard to have a little tag out. Make sure there's no wind. Just fold the boom back, and just a little blob on there. That's that. Now, what I found with these booms, obviously, they've got a bit of memory. Now, a really good way of getting rid of the memory, okay, is to warm it up. And how I do that is I rub it on my shorts vigorously. That'll warm that material up somewhat and straighten it up. Obviously, where I've held it, it's fucking kinked it. But yeah, just rub it on your legs. You'll warm the material up and it'll straighten it. But I'll leave them in my box anyway, sort of for a little while, just pinned, and that'll stay straight after a while. But you can see it straightening up. So that's the boom done. Now we've got the Ronny end. So the Ronny end you can use pretty much any hook you want with an in-turned eye, guys. You know, people love cranks, people love the Fox boys use wide gape long shanks, don't they? I use a medium curve size 4. Carp Spirit, that's no secret. These are my favourite ones for the Ronnies. So you just take your hook and you pass over a micro ring swivel, right? Job done. Then you get yourself a hook bead. Now, hook beads I buy from AliExpress, which is like an app on the phone, which is like a Chinese app sort of thing, and you can buy like 500 for next to nothing, rather than just going to the tackle shop and buying hook beads. They come in all different colours, and fundamentally they're the same. Now, this is the only bit I struggle with, right? Sometimes it goes in straight away because I really can't see what I'm doing here. There we go, we're in. And I put it that way around. Job's a good one. Now what I do is I take a liner. Again, I get these from AliExpress. Rather than buying, excuse me guys, rather than buying kickers and stuff like that, 10 in a packet, it's nonsense. Again, AliExpress, you can buy 100 little liners like these for literally next to nothing. And I'll just cut the kink off, like so. It's just left me with a little tiny bit of silicone of about 10 mil, okay? And then I'll just moisten that and pop it over the hook, like so. I'll then grab my boom, pop it over the Ronny swivel. Now I like to throw the hook side towards the back of the hook, okay, like that way round. You can see that. I'll tell you why. When you pulled a little bit of rubber down, it's just a little bit kinder there on a cart's mouth. You can imagine if it was the other way around, you've got the little bit of hook there sort of protruding, haven't you? So it's just a little bit kinder. I know you're putting a hook in a carp's mouth, but it's just a little bit kinder. So there's that pretty much, guys. That's my Ronny. That took long at all, is it? And then what I do is I'll just get a bit of bait floss. Again, these you can buy triple packs for about £5. Floss is floss. You don't need fucking special floss. I'll just pass that through the micro ring swivel. Take a hook bait, my choice, which tonight, and like most nights at BFM, I grab hold of my baiting needle. Now, I wonder why, but you're wondering why there's a bit of a luminous corn on there. So I can see it in the dark. That's all. That's the only reason that's on there for, because I'm forever losing that. So I leave a bit of glow in the dark corn on it, and I can see that instantly in the dark. I'll just pass that over the floss. Them rods are having a right dance down there. And then we cut that off, leaving about 20 mil, and then I'll just burn that back. And when you burn it back, just let it fizz for a little while before you flatten it. Otherwise it'll stick all over your lighter and you end up with this fucking stringy bit off it. So that's pretty much that. I then just grab hold of some putty. Again, look, Chinese putty, guys, AliExpress, and get them ripped off for putty. Ain't happening. And what I do is I put quite a substantial amount of putty on this rig because I'd rather take the putty off while it's wet when I test it than try and add putty to it. And what I do is I just wrap it round the crimp. I mean, admittedly, this bit of putty is rather large. It's not normally that big. I don't need it that big. I know I don't need it that big. But yeah, it's easier to take the putty off than it is to put the putty on, wet putty, once you've dried it. So, and I like to put it on the crimp just to give that a bit of free movement. And that, guys, is my Ronnie. And that one, after I've tested it in the edge, which I would imagine, I've done plenty of these now, I would imagine, a bit more of that off. That is about perfect. And that is what I've got on them 3 rods out there. Exact replicas of that rig, so if one goes, I've got another one down there to whip on. Having said that, I don't normally do the booms. I just make the end, and obviously if you have a fish, you can just change the end by pulling the liner back up, hooking it back on and whipping it back off. But when I'm fishing pop-ups, that's what I use, guys. Just faithful Ronnie rig, mate. Reset every time, always fishing. That's why I love them. But anyway, that's us for a while, guys. I'm going to get this crap tidied up and I'll catch you in a bit. So it's, other than that noisy thing up there, don't know if you can hear that, it's quietened down somewhat now. The rods have done their business. Mind you, I've turned them down, to be fair, because night's creeping in. It's, there's been a fish milling around in these pads. Now, Tuesday morning, one come out, literally just in front of the swim. Probably about 2 or 3 rod lengths from the pads, and I had a little look Tuesday morning and I found a little hole about so big in amongst all the weed, directly where I see the fish come out. So I've actually moved one off the tree and I've just dropped a little rig in that hole. I don't normally fish there, but I'm not tight to the pads. I'm a good 2 or 3 rod lengths off it, so, and I think I'd be an idiot not to put one there for tonight. You know, it's gonna be dark in an hour anyway. I've got the line sort of relatively sort of slackish, a semi-lob. That's what I've got on that line going on. And but my money's on the left-hand rod, guys. It's I was sat here watching the video and a kingfisher landed just above my butt ring, and it stayed there for about 10 seconds. I had quite a good look at it, quite a good study. It was a beautiful little thing, and then poof, like a flash, it was gone. You know, what happens, what they say, good luck charm. Left-hand rod, guys. But yeah, so I've been getting a load of messages, right? My inbox has been absolutely flooded over the last couple of weeks. It hasn't at all. But no, someone has mentioned in one of the comments, you know, in comments I can't see. So I'm going to have to apologise now. I'll do this really quickly. But the last video went down quite well. I had like 70 comments or something like that. I can't see them, guys. I opened up YouTube Studio, all the rest of it, can't see them. See about 35 comments, the rest of them can't see. So I haven't replied. It's not me being ignorant, it's because I can't see them because of the YouTube apps and on the computer. So, but yeah, I've had what some of my boy chirped up about me when I'm banging on about solubles. A couple of solubles in the mix and all the rest of it. So solubles are these guys. They're just boilies which are soluble, they just break down. So they're made out of the same base mix, the same sort of liquids and triggers in them as your boil is, but the design just to literally sort of just break down after sort of 1 or 2 hours into sort of like just a nothingness to let loads of gear off in your swim. But excuse me, obviously it depends on the water temperature how quickly they break down. But I love them. They're a right good way of introducing more bait without overfeeding your swim if you don't know what's out there. Because like normally I'd put 2 rigs out and leave them till morning. Unless I get a run, I wouldn't think of introducing bait. But with the solubles, you can put, well, it doesn't matter. You can put a whole bag in if you want. You can put bait in just to top your swims up, knowing that in a couple of hours it's just going to break down and just sort of like leave a layer of sort of crumb around, and without overfeeding your swim. So yeah, that's why I use solubles quite often. I'll just dribble over to the tree and throw another dozen in or something every now and again, and they're all breaking down at different rates, just keeping your swim active. So pretty good product, the old solubles. I like them anyway. But, so yeah. So anyway, guys, that's about me for tonight. There's about an hour and it's dark, so I'm only here for a chill tonight, guys. So I'm going to probably put a film on or something, just have a chill out, and I'll catch you guys in the morning or as and when. Morning, team. Well, nothing to report here, guys. It's a very quiet night. Ghostly. One bleep on the right hand rod at some unearthly time in the morning. That was it. And I hadn't turned them right down. I just imagine that there's nothing really having a nibble on the spot that I want them to feed. It's no jumping after dark or nothing like that. Must be said, the conditions, that's probably it's really good yesterday. It's sort of like low pressure sort of yesterday, I think. But as it always happens when I turn up, it's like the cloud cover goes, the wind drops, high pressure sort of rolls in a bit, like it is this morning. It's like a mill pond this morning. And yeah, you just end up struggling and just get lethargic, don't they? And just don't fancy it. So yeah, it's what it is, isn't it? But I've been up since about 4:15, looking. One fish has jumped behind the tree, sort of in dugout's water. But anywhere else, they've even been jumping on orchards. So I can hear orchard. This orchard's just behind me, and normally you can hear a few jumping in there, but very silent, very still. So the chances of one of these going in the next hour or so, I'd say, is pretty slim to none, if you ask me. But never mind. It's better than being at home watching telly, isn't it? Overnight. So yeah. So one thing about them Ronnies, guys, what I meant to say yesterday, which I've forgotten, is obviously certain lakes are banned Ronnies, aren't they? And spinners and 360s and what have you. I don't think it's the rig that they're banning them for. It's the rig itself don't cause mouth damage. I've never had mouth damage you know, plan fishing and what have you, the mouth damage happens in the net when you're lifting the fish up from the water into your cradle or whatever. The components can get caught in the mesh, and if you're not careful, obviously they can tear. So wherever possible, always try to unhook the fish in the net, get it out of the way. With every rig, that's my practice. Yeah, at the minute the water's really low, it's quite difficult to do that. So it just takes you have to be really careful. Have your cradle at the front of the swim. I literally put the cradle right at the front, so it's out of the water and in. You know, unhook the arms, roll her up or him up. Just have a little test, make sure nothing's snagging, and then just quickly pop it in. But yeah, don't be like walking up the. I see like you see people walking up the bank with fish, like flapping about in the fucking bottom of a net, and it's like, you know, why have your fucking cradle up the back of your swim? Just have your cradle at the front. Once it's in the cradle, you can always lift your cradle to the back of the swim, can't you? Kind of mind-boggling that. But anyway, so that's just one little point I forgot to mention last night. So, but as for blogs go and me, guys, I'm gonna be quietening down a little bit now. My midweek sessions are gonna knock on the head. I've got quite a big job coming up. So, and other things happening, so my blogs are going to quieten down. You're not going to be getting 2 blogs a week as like I've been doing. Oh, go on, a little bleep on the middle. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Just before I go, got about 45 minutes left, so you need to be going, like within the next quarter of an hour. So, but yeah, they're going to quieten down a bit. 2 blogs a week is not going to be happening for a little while. I've also decided to sell the green machine. I went to the show the weekend. It was good, great show and all the rest of it. Put it back in the garage, and I was just mulling things over and thought, you know what, ain't worth keeping this car sitting in the garage doing nothing all year. So I've been out 4 times this year, something like that. It's fucking worth keeping it. It's quite an expensive car just to have, and just to have it sat in the garage doing nothing. So I decided to cash it in. I put it up for sale, and within 37 minutes it sold. So that goes Sunday. However, a shit box is imminent. So for those that don't know, I'm into fishing and doing up old cars, old Fords, old shit boxes, Mark III Fiestas I'm into. I don't know where it's come from, but that's what I'm into. So by the looks of it, if the car goes, which is no reason why it shouldn't, there's going to be another shit box turning up next week, and it needs a bit, so my time will be occupied with that as well. But you don't need too much to get it back on the road. It needs like drive shafts, and it's got some water leaks here and there and some other bits and pieces. It's not too bad, but it will need a strip down and paint. So, but that won't be happening this year, I wouldn't imagine. But yeah, so it's just an update really, guys, just to come on and just say thanks everything for watching over the last sort of couple of months where I've been banging some effort in. And I'll be quieting down a little bit, but I'll still keep in touch. I've got the van now, so it's not too much of an effort to come fishing, is it, with a van? Previously, it's either been cars or fishing. Now it don't really matter too much. So, well, anyway, guys, I'm going to crack it off there. If something happens with these, obviously I'll get back to you, but I don't think it will. But yeah, I'm going to crack it off there. Thanks for watching. Always a joy. Be lucky if you're out fishing, and I'll see you on the next one.